did I pick the wrong major? Did I get a degree in the wrong thing? Like, am I in the wrong field? Like, that's honestly been something I've like really been contemplating. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I really seriously have missed you guys. I seriously have missed making YouTube videos, and I don't even know where to start about where I've been and why I've been gone, but that's the point of this video. I want to give you guys a real life update, a 1 year post grad update, because oh my god, I graduated college 1 year ago, like exactly 1 year ago. And I just want to tell you guys all that's happening with me, and it's a lot. It's a lot, so I'm going to get into all of it. I'm going to be very transparent in this video, as always, and yeah, I'm going to invite you into my all over the placeness, because that's what's happening with me. So if you are new here, or if you have never subscribed, but you keep coming back week after week after week after week, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button below, hit the like button. It really helps other people get connected to this community, and that's what we want. So with that being said, honestly, I had already recorded this video concept early in the week, and I was gonna post that, and then I was like, sis, like, here, like, you're not being that transparent. So I struggled with this video because I wanted to give you guys this video, but I feel all over the place. But I'm like, I want you guys to see me in this state. Like, I want you guys to see I'm in a very interesting place in my life right now, and I want you guys to be able to really see me in this state. I don't want to try to like make it perfect. I don't want to try to like act like I'm not in the season I'm in. I'm in a season where I have a lot more questions and answers, and I want to be able to tell you guys about that. So, okay. Right off the bat, just know I'm going to be all over the place in this video, but I truly hope that it helps you if you're in a season like I am. That's the point of this video. So, just to start, I graduated college 1 year ago. I graduated a psychology major. I had a music minor, and immediately, like literally 5 days after I graduated, after I graduated, I started working in the social work field. And I've told you guys about my job. I still work at this job. I teach a caseload of parents about child development. I bring them activities to do with their children. I help them set goals for their family, and I just like walk alongside them on the parenting journey. And it's really, really, really beautiful. And so I've been doing that for a year. And there's a couple things that I've really been contemplating. And one of them is, did I pick the wrong major? Did I get a degree in the wrong thing? Like, am I in the wrong field? Like, that's honestly been something I've like really been contemplating. And it's not because I don't love what I do. It's not because I'm not good at what I do. I'm very good at what I do. I in a lot of ways, I really love what I do, and I'm very passionate about what I do. But you guys, just to be so honest, the social work field pays nothing. Okay? Like, the social work field pays nothing. And now that I'm really wanting to move out like soon, and just thinking about other financial goals that I have now that I'm like fully adulting, I've been fully adulting for 1 year. It's just like, did I go about this the wrong way? Like, honestly, I'm just, again, I have more questions than answers. And so, you know, I know that if you get a psychology degree, you really need to get a master's, and that was my plan. But I decided not to stay in school full time because I didn't want to be a broke college student anymore. I didn't want to be away from home that long. I wanted to come home. I wanted to be invested in my church and really get invested in ministry at my home church, because I just feel really, really called there. And I just wasn't even sold on what I originally wanted to go to grad school for. And I was like, I don't want to get more student loans. So it just didn't feel like the right thing to stay in school full time. So I started working. When I say the social work field makes nothing as far as like income, I mean that, but there are people in this life who are always going to make something shake. I'm one of those people. So I'm one of those people, and I actually have an amazing side hustle that I started this January, and it is giving kids music lessons, okay? I only teach kids. I teach guitar, I teach piano, and right now I'm teaching an amazing family, an amazing Christian family, and they have 3 little boys, and so I teach all 3 of them. I teach guitar, I teach piano every week, and that's been so good to me. I'm actually starting with some new students soon, so that helps my income like a ton, like a lot, thank God. And I'm just glad that I found this niche. Like, I'm really good at working with little kids. My youngest is 4, my oldest student is 10, and I'm adding some new little ones that are like 4 and 6 like really soon. So I'm like in the thick of it with little ones between my job and my side hustle. But all that to say, it's like, I think becoming an adult and just thinking about like how much things cost, and it's not like, I've been working since I was 15. So I worked all through college. I worked 3 out of the 4 years of high school. Like, it's not like I'm oblivious about money and finances. I'm not. I'm actually like a crazy budgeter. I'm obsessed with my budget. Like, I follow Dave Ramsey, if you know who that is. Like, it's not like I didn't have any like knowledge about finances, but it's just like, like, appreciate that I do what I love, but what I love isn't paying, and so I'm like taking matters into my own hands at this point. So yeah, also jumping back to my 9-to-5 job, you guys, my commute is really far, and I've talked to you guys about this on this channel. My commute is really, really far. I have to drive to the community where my job is, and I serve families all in that county, and it's at least 50 minutes away. So it's far, and so I'm, definitely in a transition season as far as that is concerned. Like, I'm like, yeah, this has been great. It's served me well. I have an amazing team, an amazing boss. I love what I do, but it's definitely time for a transition in this space. So honestly, just this conversation about what's next for me as far as career is really something that's been taking up a lot of mental space and a lot of emotional space, because I'm not used to being in a season where I don't know what's next. I'm a crazy planner. I am one of those people who stay up all night writing stuff in my journal, trying to come up with the perfect plan, like trying to come up with the plan A, plan B, plan C. And I'm just in a season where, I can pay my bills, I can pay what I need to pay. I'm actually saving a ton of money. Like, I'm saving a lot of money each month. I'm doing really well managing my money, which I thank God for. I've come a long way. I haven't always been, in the place that I am where I'm able to budget. But I started following Dave Ramsey, and I learned how to make a budget my senior year of college. And I actually just paid off my car. I paid off my car 2 years early. If you guys would like want to know how I did that and like how I budget, I would actually love to do that. I don't know if anybody cares. I'm obsessed with finance content, but probably nobody else cares. But if that's something you want, just let me know. Anyway, I just paid off my car 2 years early. I had a 6-year loan. I paid it off in 4 years, and that's just been great. So I think for me, it's just like, okay, I'm just in a pivot season. Like, social work is something I love, but I do have other passions, and they're more lucrative, career paths when you don't have a master's degree yet. I will have one at some point. And I just feel like I need some direction. Like, Lord, like, what do I do? Like, I just don't quite know where to go from here. I need a job that's closer. Like, I'm just like, Lord, I know I'm in a transition place, and I just need your help. So pray for me. So that is that. It's been taking up a lot of space up here, and I have to calm down and seriously like be still and know that God is in control. And I know that that's so cliche. My grandma always says, like, whenever any of us get stressed or just freaked out, my grandma always say, well, the Lord is in control. And that is her resolve. Like, that is always her heart posture. And it doesn't like negate or like ignore the fact that things are stressful, that there are real life bills out here, and if I want to move out, that rent or mortgage or whatever way I go is expensive as crap. I live in Illinois. I live in the Chicago suburbs. It's a high cost of living area. So of course it's not negating the natural, right? Like, it's not negating the actual practical things of life, but it is saying the Lord is in control. The Lord is my provider. The Lord knows what I need, and there's never been a time where I've needed the Lord to provide seriously where he is not. And it's like, Lord, I know that you're going to provide I know that you're going to provide something that will sustain me as I move into my next phase of life, where I want to move out, where there are specific financial goals that I want to be able to hit, because I want to like honor God with my finances. I want to be a good steward of my money. I want to own, like I just want to move into kind of like the next phase of life. And I don't know exactly what that looks like. I'm only 23. Like I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, but seriously, like there's things that I really want to accomplish financially. And yeah, just moving to the next phase of life. So anyway, that's just what's been going on in my mind. Obviously with my side hustle, I've been crazy, insane busy, because on top of my 9-to-5 job and, and my far commute, I'm now teaching little ones, lessons, which is great because it really, for the time that it takes me, which is not very much time, I give 30 minutes at a time. It really is good money, and I'm extremely grateful for the gifts and talents that God has given me. And I know that this is a way that He's provided. He's given me gifts and talents that I can steward and make money, and I'm super thankful that God just gave me the wisdom and the favor, even with these families and with other people, with other students that I'm getting, and new families and new students. Like I'm super, super thankful that God has given me this. Like I do not take it for granted, and it's just really, I'm really fortunate. Okay, with that aside, I have been doing a lot as far as ministry. I have alluded to this on this channel, but I've never quite said it, but I'm just going to say it right now. I am called to preach, you guys. I'm called to preach. I am a preacher. I am in a ministers in training class at my church. What that means is that there are a group of us who know we are called to preach, and so we're in a training class to learn all about ministry. So we're learning about, of course, like speaking in front of people and, practicing teaching on different topics and becoming comfortable, putting together sermons, but also our character, working with others. Like we're a team of ministers, and in a church, there's a staff of ministers that all are, they have responsibilities in the church. And so it's just about learning how to serve. The word minister literally means to serve in the Bible. So it's just about learning how to serve the church in all the different ways, praying out loud and praying in a corporate setting and preaching in a corporate setting, and, praying for people to be healed, praying for people to be delivered, like all these different things. It's just learning. So I'm in this process. It is very intense. I do it every Wednesday from 7 to 9. I've been growing so much just being in class with other people, and us all being on this process together. I am learning patience because honestly, you guys, I kind of have a problem with impatience, just to be super honest and transparent. So I am learning how to be patient with others, and thank God people are being patient with me. And I'm learning just to really, to not just think about myself and how well I'm doing or how not well I'm doing, but to actually focus on us as a whole, and to really, it's just like we're all on this journey together, and I'm really learning how to walk with other people in ministry. It's really beautiful, and it's just maturing me, and it's growing me up, and it's really, really good. So I have known that I was called to preach since I was 19 years old. When I was 19, my freshman year of college, I kept having all these dreams, and I just knew that the Lord was showing me that I'd be preaching the gospel. And oh my God, if you've been following me on Instagram and Facebook for like a while, if you're like an OG, you know that I went live during the pandemic in 2020, and I preached a message called What Happens When You Show Up. And I literally preached and led worship on Facebook Live, which I can't believe I was courageous enough to do that, because I don't even think I'm courageous enough to do it now, but somehow the pandemic gave me courage. Obviously the Lord gave me courage, but yeah, I did it, and that was like kind of like my first like sermon, if you will, like, and oh my God, I've never told you guys, I don't think I've ever said this on here, but also during the pandemic, my friends and I, my close friends and I, we started a Zoom church, and just within like students we know, so it was like we were all college students at the time, at least most of us, or like fresh out of college. And we were holding church services for other Black college students that we knew. and even inviting, other, friends of ours and things like that. And, each week one of us would pray. One of us would kind of facilitate. One of us would lead worship and one of us would preach. And so I preached on there as well. And yeah, but this is like my first time like preaching in front of people. To be honest with you, today, literally today is the day I'm recording this video. I taught our worship team at my church about praise. We were having a praise and worship workshop, and I taught about praise, and it's actually one of my favorite topics. I'm a praise and worship leader, and honestly, it was great, you guys. Like, I have struggled so bad with speaking in front of people. I think I've said this on here. I've struggled with fear. I've struggled about what people will think about me. I've struggled, honestly, when I get really nervous, I stutter sometimes. Like, I don't feel like I speak as well as some other people, and sometimes I just get so stressed and so nervous. But I did a great job, and I say that humbly. Like, I don't say that to say, oh my God, like, I'm amazing, but like, truly, I am just so glad, like, I was like obedient to the Lord. Somebody else was teaching for a large part of this praise and worship workshop, so it would have just been so easy for me to be like, hey, you got it. Like, a very experienced, very capable, very revelatory worship leader and pastor was facilitating it. But I didn't want to take the cop out. I was like, I'm going to be obedient. And I started off the workshop, and honestly, it was great. And the Holy Spirit was just truly like speaking through me. And I'm just really passionate about this topic, and it was amazing. And honestly, it boosted my confidence a ton. Like, I can do this. I prepared, and honestly, it just went well. And not to say that things always go perfect, but this was my first time kind of outside of our ministers and training class that I was preaching in front of people live and in person, not on YouTube, not on Zoom. Like, this was new, and I did it, and I'm just so freaking proud of myself and so thankful to the Lord. So yeah, like, I'm just, honestly, preparing for ministers and training class every week is a lot. Honestly, I've not been preparing as much as I should. I'm working on having, a spirit of excellence. I'm working on preparing more and not just relying on my talent, not just relying on, kind of like my natural abilities, which I do have some. We all have some in the class. Like, it kind of comes with the call, but I want to give it my best. Like, I want to give God my very best, and I want to just give him my all. So I'm working on that. Again, taking up a lot of time, a lot of mental energy. I'm growing up, I'm maturing in God, and that takes a lot. With that being said, you guys, I am now leading our praise and worship team. So when I say, I was teaching our praise and worship team, it was like the praise and worship team that I lead. I'm the leader. I'm leading a lot of people who are actually older than me, funny enough. Most of the people on the team are actually older than me, and 2 people are younger. 3 or 4 people are older. I can't even remember how many people on the team right now. Maybe like 7 or 6, or I don't know. Anyway, but I'm leading musicians and singers, and they're just capable. Truly, they just have the heart of a worshiper, like really all of them. And we have our flaws, we have our ups and downs. Like, we're a family. It is hard as crap leading people. It is so hard leading God's people. This is like the hardest thing I've ever done. It is not easy at all. We have musicians rehearsal every week. We have, full praise team worship every week. We sing for Bible study. We have church on Sunday. So, it's hard, but I will say, like, they help me. There's someone on the team that helps me teach our vocal parts. I can teach vocal parts, but honestly, I'm not always that secure in it. Like, sometimes, especially if it's like a really hard song, I just get really insecure. So I have somebody who helps me. I have someone who helps me put the lyrics on the slides every Sunday so that the congregation, the people in the audience at church can have the words on the screen so that they can sing along with us on Sunday. So I have a lot of help. Thank the Lord, but it is still incredibly hard. And like I said, this is a big time commitment. And it's a lot. And so yeah, this is where I'm at. Like, this is what my life is like post grad. Ministry is like the number one thing in my life right now. It's like my number one focus right now. I'm side hustling, making money. I have my job. And honestly, I've been doing so much of my job. To make a long story short, I'm actually a certified breastfeeding consultant. I can help moms a lot with breastfeeding, even though I never had a child. I've never been pregnant. I've never breastfed. But I've taken a lot of training, and I got certified. And so I took this super long training. I got the certification, and I had to implement more equitable breastfeeding practices in our office, and I've been doing that since November, and it literally just ended. So you guys, life has been insane. So all that to say, that's what life is like when you're post-grad. Ministry is my number one priority. I'm really good at my job. I love my job, but I am in a transition season, and I am side hustling, and I'm exploring my gifts and talents in a way that I never had. And I'm like, oh my God, I can make money, and it's honestly really easy for me. And I found my niche, with teaching little kids, music, and I love it. They love it, and it's just good. So I'm not in a bad season, you guys. I'm not in a terrible season. I'm just like, Lord, what's next? Like, I want to move out, but I'm like, Lord, how exactly do I go about it? I'm like, Lord, I need a new job. But also, I don't know that I want to stay in this field. I may want to do something else. And I'm like, Lord, I know eventually I want to go to grad school, but I don't want to go into more debt because I'm working to become debt free. I just paid off my car. The only other debt I have is student loans. Like, I just want to pay that off and just have no debt. Like, I don't want to go further into student loan debt. So I'm like, Lord, how can I go to grad school debt free? I believe I can. I have prophecies actually about going to school debt free. I have prophecies even about ownership and, owning things as a young person, and just the Lord giving me wealth with streams of income and with finances and things like that. And so I just really want to walk with God, like, right now. Like, this is the reason for this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is called Living by the Word Wide Open. Like, living by His Word wide open. And that's what I want to do. I don't have all the answers. I have more questions than answers. I'm like, Lord, every day I'm like, Lord, what is happening? Like, where is this going? Sometimes I'm just like, God, like, I'm trying to follow you. Like, I'm literally trying to follow the Bible. I'm trying to follow your prophetic words. And I know that the Lord is with me, but it's just like, man, like, I just wish I knew. I have no idea what my life is headed. I have no idea what my life is going to look like 6 months from now, or a year from now, or even next week. Like, I am in such a new place. I've never had to lead people before. Before I knew I was called to preach, but it felt so like far away. Like, it felt like something that was so far in the future. And I'm 23 and I'm in it. And yeah, you guys. So I am happy to be back on YouTube. I can't say I'm going to be posting every week. Like, I just don't know that that's realistic for me in this season, but I at least want to post every month. Like, I can definitely commit to posting every month for the rest of this year. So truly, truly pray for me. Pray that the Lord just gives me direction and clarity. I know that God is truly with me, and I know that He knows all my questions, and I know that He knows that I've been scratching my head and trying to figure out everything. And I know that He's like, girl, I got you. Like, I got you. Like, I know that, but it's hard sometimes. And you know what? There's actually a scripture I want to read to end this video. It's Galatians chapter 6. Here, let me go to it. I did not prepare for this, but it's okay. It says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. For he who sows to his flesh will of the flesh reap corruption. But he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap everlasting life. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. And that's been a scripture that's been encouraging me, because I know that I've not done things perfectly, but I've been sowing really good seeds. I've been sowing into my church, like sowing as much as I can. I've been sowing into families and like through my job, through my side hustle, and just in my personal life. Like, I've been sowing just kindness and just obedience to God in my singleness, in my body, which we've talked about on this channel, like just in my life, with my money, like in all the ways that I can. I've truly just tried to follow God with all my heart, and I know that the Lord sees it. And I'm like, God is not mocked. Like, I haven't sowed to my flesh. I haven't just sowed to the things that I want, and not thinking about what God wants. I haven't just like been like, God, this is the way I want my life to go, and I want you to bless it. No, like, I've literally laid on my life for God and for Jesus and for His church and for His kingdom and for everything that He wants. And so, to the best of my ability, of course, I'm not perfect, and of course, like, we know that. So all that to say, I know that the Lord has seen it, and I don't want to become weary in doing well. Like, I don't want to become frustrated by this season where I have a lot of questions. Like, I know I'm gonna like develop more dependency on God, and I know He's just gonna show me again like who He is, and just show me how to go about like this season of my life. And I just know that the Lord knows every desire in my heart, truly, truly. And I'm going to see a good harvest because I've sown good seeds by the grace of God. So that is my resolve. I love you guys. Truly, thank you for watching this video. I'm glad I was able to be more, transparent. And I really look forward to the next time I can be back on this channel. So in the meantime, I love you guys. And I will see you soon.